Welcome to the iSpec presentation. Remy has over 35 years experience in developing AI applications and procurement and project management solutions for the high-tech and transportation industries. Remy started development of iSpec in 2005 in cooperation with our oldest customer, DP World. Over the past nearly 13 years, DP World has used iSpec to procure all their port equipment for their global operations worth billions of dollars. iSpec has been so successful that recently the government auditors have made it mandatory to use iSpec for all such equipment procurement. When you are spending hundreds of millions of dollars, you cannot afford to make mistakes. And as the entire procurement and delivery cycle takes months or years, any minor mistake can have millions of dollars in impact and only be realized at the end when it is too late to correct. Therefore, tracking and auditing during the delivery phase what was really requested and agreed upon during the procurement phase is extremely important. Often, handing over from procurement to delivery phase is typically sub-ideal, with lack of context, details, and follow-up. iSpec solves all these issues and ensures that nothing falls through the cracks. Ensuring successful outcomes is complex as it requires the successful orchestration of both phases. iSpec ensures that these projects are easily auditable with a single data source and point of truth. It maintains confidentiality and privacy of your project data and is a low-cost solution with high productivity as it automates much of the process. Allowing the project delivery team to see what was discussed and negotiated during the design and tendering phases is immensely useful to ensure they deliver what was agreed. All the information that you require to perform your role is always at your fingertips, whether you're an auditor, technical consultant, project manager, legal counsel, procurement specialist, or supplier. You can also be assured that it is current as it is accessible from anywhere at any time, so that your decisions are made based on fact rather than assumptions. This allows you to better manage the project and assures transparency and improved efficiency and control. The biggest issues with complex projects are delays and cost overruns as a result of ambiguous specifications or contracts and the massive amounts of data that are often spread out throughout multiple organizations and departments. iSpec complements traditional ERP and financial systems. These systems were developed mainly for the manufacturing environment and are very good at category-based sourcing and procurement for production and other purposes, but are not totally optimized for the procurement of outsourced complex projects or custom-built technology. Having instant access to current data regarding complex projects allows all stakeholders improved transparency in order to take corrective action before small mistakes cost big money. Seeing all these masses of data in context allows for better decision-making as you don't have to search through thousands of emails, negotiations, minutes of meetings, etc. to find the relevant information. Buying the wrong spare part or widget is easily corrected by replacing it with a proper one. Mistakes in custom-built projects are often only recognized after the fact and can cost millions to correct. iSpec's contextual approach assists in preventing and/or recognizing such mistakes as early as possible to prevent or reduce costly errors. How often have you lost an email containing crucial decisions or data? How often have you worked on an outdated document or specification? Different stakeholders have different databases, computers, files, folders, where they keep all their data, and it is difficult to share and collaborate in a timely and accurate manner. Companies such as Shell, DP World, and others that make extensive use of technology in their business have realized that the old paradigm of technology, procurement, and project management, each working in their own silo, is neither sustainable nor optimal. The homogenization of these three functions into an integrated unit through improved compliance and better control leads to project cost reduction, enhanced performance, and shorter lead times. It also assists to improve standardization, compliance, and transparency. Therefore, in contrast to other solutions, iSpec does not consist of loosely integrated modules to perform the various functions. All functionality is included for all users and seamlessly integrated so that there is no disruption to the process flow and no need for transferring or importing data from one module to the next. This also allows for different stakeholders in different phases of the process to view information developed and stored in previous phases in order to understand prior decisions and choices as all data is kept in one place. Of course, not everyone sees all the data. iSpec's sophisticated roles and permission system ensures that you only see data relevant to your role in a project, and that engineering, for example, cannot edit legal contracts that belong to the procurement department without their approval. However, if necessary, they may view the contracts in order to properly do their jobs. When you log into iSpec, you immediately get an overview of all your projects and tenders, and iSpec instantly notifies you of all your outstanding or overdue tasks. Whether you need to respond to a clarification or negotiation, approve the awarding of a contract, or score a vendor's bid submission, iSpec will ensure you don't miss any task requiring your attention. iSpec also sends you an email each night summarizing your to-do list for the next day. When it comes to standardization and enforcing procedural compliance, iSpec's master library is crucial to the process. All standard contracts, schedules, technical specifications, and other master templates are created and managed in the master library. Each tender or contract can be built from a master library that contains documents that are either pre-approved and not subject to amendment without approval, or those that require repurposing specific to the tender or can be built up from scratch. This means you never have to worry about whether you have the correct document or version for a job, as there is only one approved version available and you can only edit the items that are specific to your project or tender. Depending on your permissions, you have editing or view-only permissions on the different document types, such as contracts, technical specifications, payment terms, etc. In this view, you see the document in outline mode. Each heading with a pencil contains content that is editable during tender preparation. Other headings' content cannot be changed. iSpec keeps track of your progress with green pencils indicating clauses that have been completed and orange alerts for clauses that still require editing for the tender or contract to be published. Each clause in a document can require a specific vendor response, such as a delivery date, price, compliance, or textual response or attachment. Once these have been set up in a template, they will automatically apply to all tenders using that template. Now let's take a look at how easy it is to create tenders using the master templates. To create a new tender, we simply select the master template to use, and iSpec will automatically copy all the required documents from the master library to the new project. Documents can also be added manually if they don't exist in the library. The editable sections of the templates can now be filled in with the information specific to this project or tender. You never have to wonder what your responsibilities are or what the next step is, as iSpec will guide each member of the project team through the process. If you need to do something, you will receive an email or it will show up on your screen at the appropriate time. All team members will receive timely reminders to keep the process moving forward. One of iSpec's key features is the email facility included in the system. This allows collaboration both internally or with suppliers, external legal counsel, and other parties not only during master document creation, but also during project design, tendering, contract negotiations, and project management. All collaboration from project inception through final delivery is controlled and contained within iSpec. This includes both internal emails between internal team members and external emails with the tenderers and external parties such as consultants, architects, third-party inspectors, etc. You will never need to search for that important email again. You can find it attached to the item under discussion in the relevant document. A tender cannot be released and published until all of the elements and documents have been completed, approved, and formally released to be published. All tenderers are sent an email advising them that the tender has been published automatically. They are invited to consider whether they wish to respond or not and advise the tendering party accordingly. Vendor responses are completed online in the published tender documents. This means all responses from the different vendors can be compared automatically within iSpec once the bids have been opened, without the need for any copying and pasting or printing of documentation. Complex documents such as drawings might need to be printed for better clarity. Unless the vendor submits all the required information, he cannot submit his bid. All vendor clarifications are done within the system, and iSpec automatically knows which team member each request should go to. For example, technical questions would be forwarded to the technical team and contractual issues to the legal or procurement team. This is determined by the assigning of roles within the team. All these clarifications are also saved within iSpec, as is all the other collaboration mentioned previously. Vendors can also collaborate internally and privately with their own internal team members. Vendors can only submit their bids once they have completed the minimum requirement for submission. iSpec provides for instant price and compliance evaluation and identifies those aspects of non-compliance where further clarification is required before evaluation can be completed. iSpec allows for complex, semi-automated weighted score tender evaluations with multiple phases such as pre-qualification, technical, and commercial evaluation phases with shortlisting capabilities. Where appropriate, Elements of negotiation can be progressed online, and where necessary, face-to-face meetings can be held to conclude outstanding matters. It is advisable, however, to conclude all matters in writing in iSpec so that a fully conformed agreement can be produced by iSpec for execution. The project manager can, when all evaluations have been properly concluded, create an executive summary online in iSpec. Once the tender is approved and awarded in iSpec, this executive summary, along with all other communications, attachments, etc., captured during all your negotiations, will reside forevermore in iSpec. So should you ever have a query on decisions made weeks, months, or even years later, one can easily review and audit that decision-making process. Once the contract is awarded in iSpec, the online project and contract can now be managed through to final fulfillment and handover. All deliverables as defined in the contract are tracked by delivery and/or commissioning dates, and vendor performance is recorded and reported against KPIs that have been set up in the system. This functionality allows for regular and automated reminders to be sent by the internal email system to both the vendors and internal users to promote timely delivery. iSpec can generate a project plan from those milestones and deliverables set up in each online agreement. This plan can then be used by the vendor as the baseline for his detailed resource and project management. iSpec also contains an inspection module and mobile application that can be used for statutory inspections, certifications, performance and acceptance testing, and also ad hoc inspections. All data is kept within the system with a full audit trail. Issues arising from tests can be linked to various user-defined hold points or milestones, and in this way it is easy to track issues that need to be cleared before payments or next phases can be executed. When deliveries are not made in accordance with the contractual obligations, and those obligations are attached to financial or other KPIs, then iSpec will automatically calculate those adjustments needed to be made. It is easy to forget about these penalties or liquidated damages. iSpec automatically tracks these for you against the agreed milestones and deliverables. iSpec is generally provided as a free service to buyers. Therefore, it can be set up in a matter of days or weeks and requires no IT overhead on your part. Your suppliers pay REMI a fee based on successful contracts over $40,000, similar to the way that many companies charge bidders a tender fee.